Yes.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, Mr.
It's
Mo.
African time, and good evening. Is it good morning in Australia?
It's exactly 4:30 a.m. Sunday morning. Good morning, Mr. Mo. Good evening to you.
Mo- okay. What provoked you to want to do a show?
What provoked me, Mr. Moweri, is a couple of things. I'm angry. That's the only word I can use. I'm angry.
Okay, angry at who?
Yeah. I'm angry at myself.
All right.
Yes.
So
And
why
I'm also
are
angry.
you angry with yourself, and to what effect?
I'm angry at myself that I have a phone, which is a new phone now, which I'm not using to share the truth or to share my facts. When I share my facts, I expect to be challenged. I expect to be educated, but no one is able to educate me like that because a fact is a fact.
But you agree that what may be a fact to you need not be a fact to another.
I totally agree. My fact is my fact. Your fact, Mr. Maweri, is your fact. Then there is a fact, which is a fact. But when I share something, no one replies to me. No one teaches me. They respond. They feel like I'm looking at someone who can educate me. At the moment, I think all I can say to you, Mr. Mawere, I'm angry and I'm willing to learn.
All right. So if we learn, let's look at the prophets that came before us. For the Christians, let's look at Jesus. What lessons do we learn about structure and order and leadership?
Well, number one, I've learned one thing. When there are two or more people, that's a community. Jesus said, if you gather as two or more people under my name, that becomes my church. That becomes a church, not his church. Right? His
Is
name
it
is bigger.
under his name or in his name?
In his name.
So what does it mean to gather in his name?
To gather in his name is simply to accept. Number one, he left a Bible. There's a Bible there, which is a guideline. Right?
No, he never left a Bible because he never wrote anything.
No,
What
some
did he
people
leave?
wrote a story. He left a message.
No, he left memories.
Memories, okay?
So those who remembered then wrote what they remembered. But himself never sat down to write a book or to write a Bible.
Correct.
So if you hear somebody called Munya Shonai, anzi matanga futi imivaviri, what does that tell you about the mindset? Because for someone to write that, it means something. That his lane is not full. His wagon is empty. As matanga, my disciples are Jesus. Yeah. Did
Yes.
Jesus anticipate people like Munyashonai?
Nope.
He did. because he knew in telling the story, others may be offended when people gather in the name of doing something positive.
Yep.
That's why dogs can be upset when you are moving. If you stand still, nobody would say Matanga, as if nobody has stopped someone like Munya to start his own gig. And Munya doesn't even know how this show was planned. If he had the decency and common sense, logic and reason, he would be the first one to say, I am here by choice and I want to learn, than type nonsense so that he can be this man from the east or from the west and call himself wise. So what do we learn from people like Munya?
Well, to be honest with you, I learned one thing. People like Munya, I call them flies. Nunzi.
And Mkoma Mtuma watanga futi. But who started? If you look at the chronology, at 7:31, he started, and we respected him and waited to hear what the dog is saying, so that when it barks, we just don't move forward before we hear what exactly is Munya saying, so that we may be able to understand whether in giving each one of us a life, the Creator intended that somebody else would have the audacity and courage to say what Munya is saying, so that we can move forward. So it was just a detour, Mkwa Masimba. It's your show. I'm here to listen. But I just wanted to show you why ideas end up being diverted, undermined by people who choose to behave like Munya. So go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Mawere. Mr. Mawere, you were talking about where is wisdom to be found on what matters. I'm asking you that question. Please, can you answer that question?
Wisdom is something that is resident in all of us. That the human mind is a bank, it's a laboratory of experiences, ideas, and also the power to act on ideas. So each one of us is a president of his or her own life. And each one of us can find something to do and to live from the gifts that are already given in each and every one of us. So imagine you just focused on what you have to offer. It's a lot. But imagine you spend your life pointing fingers at others instead of saying, where I don't know, I get provoked by knowledge, not ignorance. Ignorant people have nothing to learn. So I'm saying wisdom is to be found in each and every one of us. So when we come on air, we are actually provoking others to think and possibly act on thought.
Yeah, correct.
Go ahead.
Yes, correct, Mr. Mawere. And yeah, wisdom. Eish. Yeah. Mr. Mawere, I'm writing a book, Book Ravens. In this book, I dedicated you as my mentor without telling you, without asking you. It was my choice. I chose you, that you are my mentor. Then I'm told, Mawere aushanisa mfana. Masimba urupengiswa na Mawere. Masimba is advocating for Mawere. How can I answer that question?
That what I choose to do is my business. What other people choose to do is their business. So the world is small for me to worry about what the rest of the people are doing or choose to do. I have my cross to carry, and I will carry it. But I have to negotiate with others to give up their time so that they can also learn. So those who choose not to learn are ignorant people. But those who choose to back, they have no chance of listening while they're backing. So life is made to be lived by the living, who have the power to make choices. So nobody can make choices on your behalf. You are sovereign. And whatever you decide, others must respect your choices, unless that choice interferes with your own life.
Let's talk about choices, Mr. Mawere. Right?
Yeah.
I made a choice to leave my bedroom, to leave a wife. I made a choice to be on the street. After making that choice, because where I was born, a place called Zimbabwe, is what they call superstitions. Then they said, Kutanda Motso, Arkupenga. After they said that, they said, okay, I can go deeper. Then I created videos about Dodi, saying Nagojiga Dodi. Right? That I was not creating, I'm the author. Then they said, Akatojiga Dodi. Then I said, show me Pandakajiga. No one. Then after the street, I went to hospital. Right? I was in mental hospital for 3 weeks. After mental hospital, why did I go to hospital? I wanted the doctors to help me to understand my choice to be on the street. Am I mentally okay or am I mentally disabled? They said, no, Simba, we have been with you for 3 weeks. You are free to go. I said, where do you want me to go? I'm homeless. Then they said, there are organizations who can support people. Then they referred me to organizations. Then I went to those organizations. Then they said, Simba, you don't have any kid or any child in your custody. At this stage, we only help people. We're only helping people. Like we put what you call priority or value. You are a man, Simba. Find your ways, man. Then from the street, I went back from the hospital. I went back on the street. I went to those organizations. They could not help me, Mr. Mawere. Then I had to help myself to go to a next move. And I chose to go to city, to a hotel. Right? So people like Munyara Shonai, they don't listen to me. They feel like I was on the street by choice. After being on the street, I was a voluntary or I volunteered to be in a hospital. After being a voluntary, the hospital said, thank you for coming, let us do our job. It took me 3 weeks to get cleared. When I was cleared, I was referred back to the community. When I went to the community, they said, Simba, la la la, la la la, la la la. Right? It showed me in Australia, they focus on the word vulnerable. They said, Simba, if you had a child in your custody, definitely we're going to put you straight in accommodation. You don't have any child in your custody. So I've learned that I'm not the most vulnerable person, like a woman with a child. So I went back on the street for 2 weeks. Then I said, okay, let me make a choice to move up because I want to also start a normal life. Then I'm in a hotel now. My choice, my money, again, Mr. Maweli. The word choice. My choices are being violated. My choices are not being respected. Then there was a radio show in Zimbabwe about my choices, Mr. Maweli, where they are now taking advantage to say Takamuroya Masimba, superstition coming to my choice. But I declared first that I'm now going on the street.
Yeah, I think you are getting deeper into the whole essence of life, the blueprint of life, and its intended operation. The Creator made sure that no human being was smart enough to create the gifts required to live life. We call them gifts because no one can create gold. No one can create even a tomato, a banana, but they exist. So somebody had the burden of stocking life with things that are required to live it. Then you look at Tembiela. Thank you, Mr. Mawele, for the shows earlier on. We learned a lot. That's Tembi saying we, yet she is alone. What do we learn from that? That Tembi, you are complete on your own. That Mkoma Masimba is complete on his own to make choices. Even the choices I may not like. But who am I? I have no say as to what he wants to do. He has the burden of living life because life was created outside me. So why do I have to worry about the choices he makes? We call liberty a gift of nature. The right to love or not to love, to like or not to like. If you don't like me, there's nothing I can do to make you like me. Somebody called me yesterday, Jonas Achiti. Jonas was saying, Mr. Mawere, ignore Rumpi. I know her. She was my election agent. I said, why ignore somebody who has something to say? How many people say something they know nothing about? How many people say, Mkoma Masimba, you are this or that? And here we are talking about Tembi saying exactly what I wanted to provoke. She said, I made an assumption. Who told you I am alone? I wasn't watching your show alone, but you were alone. Others were watching on their own. They made their own independent decisions. That's the lesson I'm saying. I'm not criticizing you, Tembi. Don't misunderstand it. You chose to give up time to listen or to watch the show. And that's you. You stand on your feet, Tembi. You don't stand on somebody's shoulders. You don't ride on somebody's wagon and make it heavy and say we when it's I. The decision to switch on the button was yours. That's what Mkoma Masimba is saying. That choice is your choice, Tembi. So we salute you, we celebrate you. Because when you give up your time to do something, if that something has no value to you, why bother? Why would you come to insult somebody? All you can do if you don't like it, fine. And you can also say, I enjoyed it. Not that I'm saying you are alone. No, because it's your choice. Even if I made unwise choice, just respect me, because life is too hard without you. And it is your choice, remains your choice, Tembi. And I salute you, celebrate you. That's what Mkoa Masimba is saying. If I make my unwise choice, and if I choose to do what I need to do, whether it's in a hotel, in a whatever, if I choose to be in the streets, please allow me to be me. The moment you say your choice must be other people's choice, then we are getting into the offense against the Creator's intention. Because you would have given the so-called leader a bigger brain, more hours in a day, so that they would then anticipate what I'm going to say, then be able to organize me and see how difficult it is to organize the human mind. So Mkoa Masimba, thank you for asking that question, because it addresses many issues. And it may be unwise for you, according to others. Mawere wakaondokanyika through your abuse of power. Somebody saying that as if he gave me the power that he presumes. But go ahead, you are the questioner. Let's try to finish in 30 minutes so that we know what we need to cover in the last few minutes.
On the word choice, can you see? You chose to leave Zimbabwe. 1988. That was your choice. But someone is telling you, Mr. Mokwe, is giving you so much purpose that someone in Zimbabwe can hold over Zimbabwe. But he was born there, he was in Zimbabwe, and you were there. He's blaming you now. You see, the key is it does not even respect your choices. It does not even know his choice or choices. How can you dare say you were never the president? You were never in government. Someone's coming right now. Mr. Mawere.
Hello? Yeah, I think it's breaking up, but go ahead, yeah. I didn't hear the question.
Okay, Mr. Mawere, remember hashtag choice. I made a choice to vote the street. It was my choice, right? You made a choice to live in 1988 or 1989. We are talking about 30 years ago. But someone right now is telling you, Mr. Mawere, where that person was born, when that person was born, maybe you were there or you already left. You were never in government. You never had any position of power in Zimbabwe. But it's been you.
No, I'm saying is even a dog will bark and blames the one who has a journey to embark on, and say, why are you going and leaving me? So there are many people who are so foolish that they don't even know their foolishness. So they come on a platform like this to just expose how naked they are in thought and deed. They purport to speak on behalf of a country. They purport to speak on behalf of others. They actually pretend that they are more important than others. They speak for the nation. Imagine the nation says, Mkoa Masimba, you must not have a live show. And this man who is a fool would say, I speak on behalf of the nation, and want to limit your choices in the name of this creature called a nation. And if you ask him, when did you last see the nation? The guy has got a ballooned mind that in between his 2 ears, he thinks he knows what the nation is. Can you imagine how foolish that is? How illiterate that mind is? How ignorant that mind is? That you stole something from somebody I don't know. But a dog will bark anyway. Not because it has something to say, just to be recognized that in the midst of others, there is a dog. So there are things you can't help, Mkwama Masimba. And you know that the person who is saying those hateful things to somebody else, what kind of evil mind do you want? Yeah? What kind of evil mind do you want? That only thinks about something that they don't know. And they say, Mkwama Masimba, Ajga Dodi, it's hateful to me. Some even pretend to be related to you. Some people even think they know better than you. And some people think the 24 hours you are given, it was not a correct choice for you to have 24 hours. They make you a fraction of themselves. They give you 10 hours or 12 and a half hours so that they can say, I lived my life pretending to be somebody. Yeah. So that is so here we are. We have arrived at the 30 minutes that we said we should. And what is the next show? I think Mason wants to participate. What is it that you want to touch on the next show?
On the next show, Mr. Mwere, I would like to introduce myself and give a chance for it. I'll call Signoro, Sabino, and put in the channel. I gave them a chance. And at this stage, I would choose to be alone. Right? And next show is Mr. Mwere. I'll let you know.
All right. So I think we can cut this show so that we break it up into segments so that we don't have to continue as if time is ours. So we manage time.
Thank you very much.
Mason, I'll send a new link and we are going to be talking about lessons learned.
Thank you very much. I met join the show. It's Mason and you. I met join the show as well. Please, if I can join the okay.
And Mason Musiagere Kumateresi and now Munya. We decide what we want to do. We're not doing it for you, Munya. We're just doing to have a conversation that would remain in the private space. And if Mason is a member of this community, we shall do the needful and proceed with what we need to do. Thank you.